Welcome to episode 2 of the After the Show, the paid search podcast here on YouTube. I am Chris Schaefer, the co-host, and with me is Jason Rothman. Jason, there are a lot of ways to advertise on Google AdWords.
Right.
And we talk a lot about the search because that's what you and I both really like. But there's a way that people can actually advertise on Google and they never even go to your website.
Right.
You can pay for clicks, and believe it or not, they never even see all the money you spent on getting that new website set up.
Or for a lot of my clients, they never see how bad your website is.
Exactly.
Right.
How little you paid for that horrible website. So I'm talking about call-only campaigns. You have much experience with this? Have you had clients ask you about it?
I've had more experience with this in the last 2 weeks than I've had in the last 2 years. And now they haven't been around for 2 years, but they, I don't know, maybe they came out at the beginning of this year. But it is picking up like crazy, the demand for these call-only ads. And a lot of people wrote a lot of articles in the last 2 years about the decline of Google and how Google's going to struggle as the internet moves to mobile. But the call-only ads, to me, just show Google's dominance and how they're adapting and providing an almost a better search product for advertisers. And basically what it is it happens on mobile phones, and you type in like storage Oklahoma City or movers in Houston on your mobile phone, and instead of seeing an ad that has a text headline that says best Houston movers or call now for a moving quote or whatever, where you would click on it and go to that advertiser's website on mobile. Now with these call-only ads, the advertiser has an option of just putting a phone number in at the top of the ad. And if I'm on my mobile and I click on the top of the ad, the only option I have is to click that phone number and click to call and call the business right from the ad and bypass the website. So I work with a lot of movers, and they consistently have really, really bad websites just because they haven't put a lot of time into them. And I know that if we send AdWords traffic to those websites, especially on mobile, it will struggle and the conversion rates will struggle. So this is a great tool to use because we get to bypass the website and get right to the goal, which is to get people on the phone, to get them moving quotes. So movers, lawyers, pretty much anyone that needs a phone call from the general public, it's a great tool. So I still have some questions for you about it, but yes, the demand is picking up. People are asking. Not only are they asking about it, but they're asking specifically only for call only. So it's picking up big. And right now, if you're a guy doing it in the second quarter of 2016, or a guy or a woman in a city, and there's a good chance you're the only business in your space doing it. So it's a great thing to jump onto right now.
Yeah.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I've used it. I've used it quite a bit in the past, and the thing is, it's not necessarily any cheaper. I don't find that it's very different than like search to display, right? Search, you could spend $4, $5, $6, $7 a click, and then display you could somehow get clicks for 50 cents, something like that. It's nothing like that. If your space is $10 a click, you will pay pretty much $10 a click for those mobile call only ads.
Right. I've seen that. I try to get clients to expect that you're going to have to pay up for it, and maybe even pay more than search, because you're jumping right to the goal. So these clicks, aka these calls, are more valuable than search clicks because you get people on the phone. And so I've seen that you have to pay more in a lot of times, but just like you're saying, you're definitely not going to pay less.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, no, there's a couple issues that come up with it in that, and it's kind of confusing for the person running it. You can spend money and not get a call.
Right. I was thinking about that. It's weird. Why does it happen? I don't know. Either people
click it and then immediately hang up when it starts to dial.
They didn't mean to call. One thing I'm thinking is if you click to call button on an iPhone, something that pops up, it says call this number or no. And I'm thinking maybe people click on it like they think they're going to the website like a normal ad, and then they go, oh no, I didn't want to call. I'm supposed to be at work right now or something like that.
Yeah, they may not realize that it's an immediate actually to call someone at that exact moment. But
Right.
and then also I think the way that the system works, and I believe this is correct, is that you have to be on the phone you have to be connected for 60 seconds in order for it to call that a conversion.
So
So you can spend money, talk for 10, 15 seconds, and then hang
right,
up,
right.
and it won't track as a conversion. Of course, that would not be a very valuable
Well, so
lead.
this is why Chris, now I myself, but Chris is also an honest pay-per-click manager, because what you can do is, Chris, you can go into the conversion settings and you can say a phone call. The default is 60 seconds.
Right.
So Google's not going to count a phone call a true conversion unless you're on the phone for 60 seconds, because that shows that it was a valuable call. It wasn't a wrong number. It wasn't someone that hung up instantly. But if you want to, you can go in there and you can say that a conversion is only 10 seconds.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
that would, I would hope nobody would go in there and change that simply for upping the numbers. But yeah, that's a good point. I've
right.
personally never even considered that. And now I wish you hadn't mentioned it, because I'm thinking about a couple clients that I could up that conversion rate and make miracle change
Right.
over a month. But yeah, I mean,
But you won't do it
no,
because
no,
you
because
and me are the
it's not
honest guys.
serving. Yeah, it's not serving the client the
Right.
right way. It's not presenting them the true facts.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
even long term, it's like it doesn't help us manage the campaign better, because if we have 10 different keywords and they're all showing one conversion each, but two of those keywords have 60-second calls or 5-minute calls, and a lot of those keywords only have 5-second calls, it doesn't do us any favors
to
in
know,
terms of
yeah,
getting the client the performance they need to
right.
keep us around. So that's something to keep in mind, though, for clients out there, is ask your manager how long the phone call conversion is set for.
Mm.
Another cool thing is in the dimensions tab, they have a call report now. And you can see what time the people called you, how
Mm.
long the call lasted, the area code the call came from, and whether the client missed or received the call, which I especially love, because if a client comes to me and says, "Hey, Jason, we're not getting the calls you need," I can push back a little and say, "No, we are getting you the calls, but look, you missed 30% of them," which is a
Mm.
horrible miss rate for
Yeah,
the business hours. So you're able to
that's
see, yeah, it's
okay.
an awesome report. And Chris,
I wasn't even aware. I don't think I was even aware of that dimension information on that. That's interesting.
yeah, it's awesome. And just like you were saying on our podcast, I didn't know how long the bid above a certain advertiser thing had been around, and it's crazy that you and
Yeah,
I do this for a living
and still don't know yeah.
all week long, and there's still tons of features that just come out and we miss the blog post about it or whatever. But I love that tool or that report, and I put it on my monthly reports now. And
Ah,
clients love seeing how many calls they got from mobile, and um,
that's cool.
yeah,
And what kind of success rate do you get? I know, what kind of conversion rates I get. I was curious, what do you get as far
it
as the number of people that call?
it depends, and a lot of this is brand new. Like I've only been running these for a couple weeks,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
but I have seen, like with movers, I've got a great moving client in North Carolina who's on top of the phones, and he has been getting like a 40% conversion rate,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is, you would think, oh, I want every click to be a call, but like we talked about earlier, it's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
No.
But you give a guy a 40% conversion rate on search, and not only conversion rate with lead forms, but actual phone calls that last longer than 60 seconds. To me, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
and the reason, to explain again, the reason why it's 40%, and I know it may not make sense. You click, and then you immediately call.
right.
Wouldn't that be a 100% ratio? The difference is because we have the conversion. We're talking about conversion rates, not call
Not
rates.
call rates, conversion
Conversion
rates.
rates, the 60-second time period of talking. I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah,
Is that we're talking about whether people stay on the phone or not. It's not about
right.
whether they call or not. It's about whether they stay on the phone.
And if
And I've had campaigns that have been running, I guess, about 9 or 10 months
right,
exclusively with call only.
right,
It's a couple bail bond companies that I have,
right,
and those work really well because it's the kind of people that are going to be kind of an emergency type of
they
thing.
need it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they need that kind of thing. And there's a lot of other clients that work really well with that too. A lot of other industries,
right.
and I've been working with it long enough that I've gotten the conversion rate at 60 to 65% now.
That's
Um,
incredible. Can
yeah.
you imagine a search conversion rate at 60%?
No, that means you have the conversion tracking code in the wrong place. If you're getting 60% conversion rates, it means something's wrong. Nobody gets that kind of stuff unless it's a one-page funnel newsletter sign up that you get a free puppy with. Nobody fills out forms that often.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's been really valuable. I think it's something that works well for certain industries, certain clients, and it's not the kind of thing that you can, just throw in there and it's just going to work. I mean, if you're doing a attorney or something like that, some expensive market, you're not going to be able to just put that in there and be able to avoid, $30-$50 clicks. It's still going to cost that much.
Right, it's still going to cost, and to me, it's taken me more time to find the right bidding level on these compared to a regular search campaign. Because I'll throw some of them on there, put the right bid that I think it needs to be, put maybe a little bit of a mobile bid adjustment on there, and still not get the impressions or clicks I want. So it takes time to find it. But one other thing people need to keep in mind is to only run those during business hours when they can actually take the calls.
Right. Right.
And so that's one question I have for you. Like, my last question is, what do you do with the other search campaign, your regular search campaign? Do you put the mobile bid adjustment at 0 so your only mobile ads are call only? Or do you let it run simultaneously and see which one works better? That's kind of my default.
It's a good question. I actually don't have any campaigns that run search along with call only.
Right.
I either have, if the client fits the call only model,
right.
I usually put all of their budget into that.
That's interesting.
I don't typically do a lot of split testing on that. It's a good point. Maybe I should try that, but at this point, no, I haven't tested those side by side.
And for me, I don't know the answer either yet, because I've just been letting it kind of run side by side and then just looking at the data after a month or two and checking the mobile data on the regular campaign. But anyway, this is an awesome tool. It's really changing things, because it used to be people would come to me with a really bad website and I'd say, hey, why don't you go get that website fixed before we even get started? But
can't even get started. Yeah,
it's totally changing that. So
the entry into the AdWords atmosphere or AdWords universe, is much lower now. Just about anybody can I have a phone, I can answer it. You're in. That's all you need.
And if you're running a business where you can't make $10, $20, $30, $40 cost per call work for the lifetime value of getting one new client or customer, it's like, you got problems, because I don't know. You got a small budget. It's a great way to get.
They're on their mobile phone. They just searched at that moment. I mean, if there's a better qualified customer, I don't know how to deliver it, because every other thing goes through a third step. They go through the click to the website, then the call.
Right.
On this one, it's straight from click to call. Bam.
It's straight from I need something.
Solution.
You have it. Let's talk.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So, Chris, last thing before you take us out of here, show everyone your pen.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, this is
Chris,
a very specific. This is a very specific kind of pen. Wow. It has 4 different colors. Wow. And I use the different colors to separate my notes as I talk to clients. So I've got red, black, green, blue. So when I'm writing notes in my little notepad, which I cannot show, there are secrets on there that nobody can see. Right. But as I'm writing notes, I use different colors to separate different discussions. So when a client calls me, take notes in one color. Another client calls me and take notes in a different color. So
I like it. I will be on Amazon buying that later today. I was
they're expensive. It's the price of 4 pins.
Well, 4 pins for one.
I mean, look at. Well, I'm not gonna. I can't open it, but there's 4 different things in there, so they charge you like 4 times the price.
Well,
but
no joke, and that's the reason I saw it before we did we're doing our video. I saw that you had that pen. No joke. Last night I was thinking about how my grandpa, when I was a little kid, I'd play with his pen, and he would always carry around in his pocket the 4 pen. He's the only guy I've ever seen use that. So it's weird how I was thinking about that last night and then see it today. So
yeah. All right. Well, good talk. Thanks everyone for watching. Of course, you can catch us on the paidsearchpodcast.com. I'm Jason.
He wishes.
This is Jason. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Thumbs up, like button.